In the last episode, I bought this 1980s electric city car, and then I took it off-road, and surprisingly nothing broke. The car does have an aircraft aluminum frame with a full-on roll cage and a sunroof. I also bought a 2001 Hayabusa, and I'm going to be swapping what looks like a cheese wedge with over 170 horsepower. So guys, I guess stay tuned and find out if this engine will even fit in this tiny car. So I'm going to start by removing the rear hatch and the glass. This panel is riveted on, it's made out of plastic. Now in part 1 of this build I talked about extending the hatch, but it turns out that there's already plenty of space. And I did see some of your comments telling me to turn this thing into a truck, so that's also a possibility, although I would prefer to keep the wedge shape and the iconic looks. There was a lot of talk about the frame of this car not being able to handle all the horsepower, but in my opinion, I think it was actually pretty well built and actually overbuilt. This car had to house about 600 pounds in batteries, so after deleting all that, it became a lot lighter. And also, we're going to be deleting all the axles, which is another 200, 300 pounds. So yeah, we're going to have a sub 1,000 pound car. Now these were supposed to be little shock absorbers, crash bars, but we do not need them. I do feel a little bit bad for cutting up this car, but it's for science. I'm just kidding, it's not that heavy. It kind of fits. Wow. Look at that, guys. It just so happens to barely fit between those frame rails, but yeah, that cover's not even on, so these are gonna have to go. And then I'll probably mount the engine to these frame rails and just reinforce the crap out of everything. Probably gonna have to cut them right there. And then this aluminum bar actually seems in the perfect place, so maybe we'll be able to build mounts off of that. And then to take the engine off, we'll just simply drop it from underneath the car. All of this will be covered up with the firewall. So yeah guys, I'm actually really content with that. I think that looks amazing in there. Here the differential was in the way. I was hoping I could keep the car a roller, but nope, I'm going to have to strip that away. The good news is we're going to be replacing it with independent rear suspension, so it should be a way better handler than before. Oh boy, that is heavy. Whew, that's like 150 pounds right there. Alright, so I got my 1/4 inch tabs for the engine mount right there. Let's see if this stuff welds any good. Okay, it seems to be welding all right. So I just want to take a quick break to talk about today's sponsor, Keeps. Now, did you know 2 out of 3 guys will suffer from hair loss by the time they're 35? Luckily, for those of you that want to keep your hair, there is a solution. Keeps offers clinically proven solutions that come straight to your doorstep, so no need to visit doctors' offices or pharmacies. Most customers notice results 6 months after starting their treatment, although it is necessary to point out that if you're already entirely bald, Keeps won't somehow magically grow your hair back. Now, these treatment plans cost half of what you would pay at a pharmacy, and they're customized for you by a licensed medical provider. If you want to keep a full head of hair, it's best to start sooner than later. So if you want to stop hair loss, be sure to check out keeps.com/Vasily to get a special offer. That's going to be the first link in the description. Again, that's keeps.com/Vasily. With that being said, let's get back into the video. So we got the headers in there and they fit perfectly. There's a lot of room here. I could say there's a lot of room here for a turbo, but we'll see. This main frame rail right there that runs right there, the headers are about 8 inches away from it, so there's plenty of clearance. So if you take a look at the oil pan and headers, they do not go below the lowest point of the frame. Now we got to address the most important mounts right here on the side. I'm going to use some really thick steel tube and just butt it up against the block, and we'll bolt it to the aluminum frame. If you notice, I'm actually touching the parts right after I cut them, and that's the beauty of a cold cut chop saw. I'll have a link in the description for this. It is pretty pricey, but it's definitely worth it if you're into fabricating. Alright, so I got these steel tube clamps right here. They use them on side-by-sides, and I'm going to tie the engine mounts into these, and then I'll have plates that bolt into the frame right there to grab the other side. Engine mounts out the way, I'm gonna start removing the front assembly of this car, getting ready to install the new suspension, and also while I wait for my custom reverse gearbox. So here, a lot of these bolts were really corroded, so I legit had to cut them out. Dang, I wonder what these tubes are for. Oh, are these filters? Now, I was curious to see how some modern headlights would look on this thing, so that's what I did next is I installed these Miata headlights, and I don't know, I'm 50-50 on these. Alright, so I got the engine mounted. Let's see if the hatch fits on. Wow, perfect, basically no trimming required. That is awesome. So yeah guys, I'm extremely happy with how the engine fits in there. There's a lot more space than I thought. Now the one downside is I would love to keep the stock wheelbase, but I just don't think I can. Got the wheels kind of mocked up, shout out Koenig, but that's not where the wheels are going to be. The wheels are going to be out here. So I figured I just want to make it nice. I'm going to have a reverse gearbox out here with the chain drive. And looking at a lot of Hayabusa smart cars, a lot of them just have a straight axle with no suspension, but I want to make this thing nice-ish, and make it actually drivable and pleasing to drive. One of the major philosophies I've adopted in life is KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. So I'm not going to try attempting over-engineer everything or reinvent the wheel. Just stick to what I already know. We will be bracing up the roll cage, bracing up the rear end. This car is going to weigh around 1,000 pounds, I'm guessing. Now let me show you what I have planned in the front. So yeah, like I said in episode 1, I'm converting all this to Miata suspension, it's gonna need to handle high speeds, like 100 plus. And also we want to kind of equal out the weight distribution, hence the heavier parts. And then we'll have our radiator right here. So guys, if you're excited for part 3, drop a like down below. Now I have to apologize for the lack of uploads and the shorter ones. My cameraman, or should I say camera lady, went on vacation, and she's also starting school back. So I'm gonna have to resort to the tripod now. But yeah guys, with that being said, I'll catch you in the next episode. Stay tuned, peace, and God bless.